Sound check.
Yo.
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 Yeah. Okay, everybody's actually in the yellow, including my wife, who's normally pretty soft voiced.
Yay. There you go, girl.
For once. We'll see how long that lasts.
So I've been hunting for a theme, and I decided I'm just going to steal one. We're stealing this. See who recognizes it.
Wait a minute, are we using new chips or the chips from last game?
Chips from last game.
Oh, okay, then I need to get different chips.
Do you recognize it?
Yep.
You sure?
No.
It sounds familiar.
It's something goofy. I think it's called.
It is called
I knew it.
the Kevin Sorbo Cull movie. You're correct.
Oh boy.
Which, by the way, for all its other faults, had damn good music.
It did.
And I like the way it ended. It had a very Howardian ending. It just had nothing else in the middle that was Howard.
Oh, come on. You're telling me that the whole giant freezing cave thing wasn't Howardian?
That was. I'm saying the ending was Howard. How they get rid of the demons very Howardian.
Why don't you role play my character last week without my
I'm about to tell you that. All right, that's why I pulled out the adventure so I could
You got us in a lot of
read the
trouble.
adventure, and that's why I was hoping you'd listen to the session so I wouldn't have to do that. But here we go. So brief recap. So this adventure, this tale is called The Dark Gaze of Ahrizam. And I do recommend you listen to the YouTube videos where it goes a little bit into Ahrizam's history and why we're playing the adventure. But the adventure starts with Iskanara coming to the party and saying, hey, you know, I'm tired of us making all of our money from almost dying. It might be a good idea if we had a front. And all the thieves went, what are we, an idiot?
Yeah.
So our first official front is we went and bribed a couple of nobles to pony up the money so we can start a dance studio where Iskanara will be teaching everybody in Ahrizam who has a daughter that wants to dance for the temple to come dance for the temple.
Mm-hmm.
We played through the negotiations. We played through the getting the funding. We played through having to go first to Baal Hatar for the money, and Baal went, yeah, I'm not doing that, but Josh is probably the person you should be talking to. So we had to roleplay through talking to Joshua. When we were talking to Joshua Shing informed us that there is a noble in the town, an up-and-coming family who's nouveau riche, called the Rutas, who are hosting a big banquet in a couple of days. At the time we had the conversation with them, a couple of days, for a relative of the king who happens to be in Ahrizam. And that if we really want to get in good with the people that will fund the school, we can get in with them. Now we've already bought the property, so we have the deed. We have not had the deed notarized yet, so we can't actually open the doors. But we do need to go ahead and set up some backers, because like anyone who's ever been involved in dance, martial arts, or any of the arts, you don't have patrons, you'll last a month. You hardly ever run in the black. Hardly ever. You exist almost entirely off the goodwill of your patrons and your parents of your children and blah, blah, blah. Which considering why so many galleries and stuff go belly up relatively fast, or labors of love run part-time.
Mm-hmm. That's very true.
So, that is where we are. Before we would meet the Rutas, however, we wanted to take a night off to celebrate. So we go to celebrate. We're at the celebration. Perdaj and his Turanians are playing. Iskanara is dancing the whole bar course. Eyes on the dancing girl. And in the middle of the dance, a irate noble shows up, calls out, Perdaj Medzis! Name, and basically says, I'm going to kill you for deflowering my daughter. And Perdaj looks at the guys, sees all the men he's brought with him, realizes none of them has a missile weapon, so it's safe to mock them, and proceeds to mock them and starts a bar fight. The bar fight went pretty well. In fact, Freywin walked up with one right hook, clocks the noble, and knocks him out on an epic success roll.
Twice.
Which caused us to change our brawling rules for the rest of time. So we're going to be figuring brawling damage a little bit differently from now on.
All right.
And
Did you kill him?
No.
she really showed up, but I went, there's no way I'm going to let that kill happen from a hook. And the other thing that happened was that at the end of the fight, Perdaj proposes to the girl he's shamed and says, I want to make you my first wife. And her reaction was, oh my God, yes. How many do you have? Because, you know, Zamoran, quick on the uptake. And he promised that she would be the first and most preeminent. So she was okay with that. Iskanara ends up meeting them in the middle of the bar. So there's all witnesses. It's nice and legal. And you had one minor wound in the scrape where a guy got lucky but you knocked out like 3 or 4 people. Kale did his typical thing. The only thing I've put in there is that there was one encounter on the street where we saw Durle-Monk, our employer from the temple. We saw Durle-Monk talking to the relative of the king, and she realized that the relative of the king knows her character.
Yeah.
The relative of the king knows Vali. So feel like he knows Vali from a complicit criminal enterprise the relative of this king was involved in, where they were trying to turn lead into gold, and probably stole some of the gold from the royal treasury to get the base gold to try to make it happen. The guy also knows Aristocles, our alchemist, and, well, they did the whole thing of, oh, yeah, we don't know each other.
Yeah. I'm talking.
All right. So that is where the game is starting off. The game is starting off the very next day. Let me see here.
Okay, now we roll for hangover recovery.
Yeah, it's the day before the party, before we go meet the Rutas. And I don't know if we'll get to the dungeon crawl experiment later tonight, because it is a pretty big scene, but if we do, I'm not all the way done with the tiles, so we may have to improvise a little bit when we get there. Okay, so.
Full disclosure. I don't know where the fuck my character sheet is at. So I wrote out...
You've got to be shitting me.
I'm not. That's why I asked you, how did you roll my stuff last week without my character sheet?
I just assumed I knew what you had. I kind of made up values. It's easy when you're the sage. You just say, this happens, and it happens.
I've got my values.
How do you not have your character sheet for the 3rd time?
Second.
3rd.
You need to stick it in the same folder and keep it there, dude, like I do.
All right, here's what's going to happen.
I cleaned my room.
Here's what's going to happen. Later this week, everyone's going to give me a copy of their character sheet.
Yeah. Dude, I keep it in the same folder, therefore I move the folder, not the character sheet.
Okay?
All right. I've got my attributes here, so let me...
All right, so if you have to fudge a little bit tonight for you, do you remember what advantages you had? Because that's what the game is based off of.
I got some stuff written down.
I remember you had Grim Visage. You also had a +1 AV to your medium weapon skill.
Correct.
And did you have the one yet where you roll a d20 on 8 or less, you get to roll a d6 to add it? Because that was the next one up on that tree.
That's the one I'm shooting for.
Okay.
Sorry about that, Jan.
Not a problem. That cannot happen again. Let's give everybody a character sheet from now on, because that could be... Here's why I say that cannot happen again. If we end up getting other players, it's a disservice to them to hold them to their character sheets when you don't have yours.
Exactly.
Okay. All right, so the day before the Rutas party, Arjun wakes up to the sound of cockerels, who quickly end up in the pot. The smells of illicit substances being still smoked in back alleys, stale swill on people's breath, the
rustling of rats in the alleys.
The typical things you've gotten used to while living in the mall are all accompanying you. Except Kale wakes up to a bouncy, happy, vivacious Iskanara.
Oh boy.
Because I had said at the end of the session the two of you ended up together that night. She's bouncing up and down next to you, and she's like, I gotta go to the studio, I gotta get ready, Will you come with me? Please say you'll come with me, please say you'll be... Please say you'll come with me, please, 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 please.
Okay.
Willpower's... Okay, never mind.
Why fight it?
If you saw this girl, you wouldn't fight it either.
I think I still have a picture of her saved somewhere.
Matt, can
What
I
are the
steal
character classes
your
we have
die?
out here?
So this game doesn't really have character classes, it's what we call roles.
Okay.
And when you make a roll, you pick 3 skills that are what your roll does better than everything else, and with that, which is where the game system is the same 20 plus 6.
Okay.
You roll an extra d6 to your 20. Does somebody have a character sheet I can show them real quick? Okay. So this is Vali. Vali's what we call a charlatan, which means that his character is primarily a grifter / con artist.
Okay.
Now, her role's been tweaked a little bit, and that she has some sorcery and alchemy skills on there to reflect that she's a charlatan because she's a failed wizard. So basically in this system, you kind of design your character by story first, and then we assign attributes and skills later.
Okay.
Where's your dice bag?
It does have a level system,
Oh, my character.
and that when you go up a level, you get so many improvement points. You can then feed them in here,
that shit together
like you would
while
any
I
other
play.
skill system, and buy them up. But the levels help the sage, our version of a DM, help the sage determine exactly how powerful a foe should be in comparison to the party. The party right now is actually close to coasting into the next level of experience, so they go from being entry-level characters, like D&D 1 to 3, to being low-level characters, somewhere around D&D like 4 to 7.
Gave you another one, there it is.
Well, that's fine.
And this is our 5th tale? Yes, 5th tale. This is the 5th tale we told these characters. Alright, so Iskanara goes and quickly gets into her silks and her veil. And the reason she does that is because we've already decided and written it into law that she is so beautiful for her 2 attractive advantages and her charisma of 8 that she'll always get noticed. So she wears a veil now to make sure that doesn't happen. Also, the one flying the ointment of opening the front is that now that she's a public personality, if we ever take her on a thieving job, she has to almost be fully covered because she will get recognized. A woman that beautiful simply just not recognized.
Okay.
All right.
Which means you can no longer use her as a distraction like we've been doing.
Well, a couple times I used her as a backup fighter in some other ambushes too.
Yeah, but we can't use her as a distraction now.
Why wouldn't you be able to?
Because again, she would have to expose herself.
You could use her at certain places and certain times because she is known to be in the mall.
Mm-hmm.
I said we have to take some care now to it. She's not as free as she once was.
Yeah. We tend to use her basically.
So she gets dressed up. As she's getting dressed up, you hear from upstairs, "Confounded damnation and all the gods of alchemy and darkness!" Poof!
I know who that is.
Who wants to go check to make sure the alchemist hasn't blown himself up?
Since I'm the only one here who actually knows alchemy and shit, Bali will take one for the team and go make sure the alchemist hasn't killed himself.
I am not cleaning up body parts. That is not in my job description.
You near the alchemist's laboratory, and from under the door you see a strange, thick, cloying yellow smoke coming out. Roll your alchemy and intelligence. It would be a somewhat rare substance in this time period, so put it at -2. So when we roll, she adds up her ability and her statistic, finds the column, then rolls a d20 down it and sees what happens. If you have a 19 or 20, you automatically roll a d6 and add it. If you have certain special abilities, you automatically add it. This tells us the degree of success. X is a fumble, blank is a failure, P is a partial success, S is success, H is heroic success, dramatic success, legendary, and epic. And I gauged it that way because
What is
I
an
want it to be...
epic success?
Well, let's say I'm trying to hide. Okay? Actually, let me use a better example. Interrogation. I interrogate, I get success, I know you're lying. I get a heroic success, I have a hint about why you're lying. You're nervous. I have a dramatic success. You're nervous and it's about your sister. What did your sister do? Legendary. Oh, you know your sister committed this crime. I've got blackmail on you now, or I got something I can press. And epic, I know exactly why you're lying. I've come to the proper Sherlockian deduction. Epic is like give the adventure away almost. All right? It is the supreme example of a success. I color-coded it to poker chips so it'll also be easy that if you want to not roll, you spin the proper color of the color chip, you have that success automatically. This gives the players and the sage both a way to manipulate the game system. When we were playing Fallout, somebody threw a grenade at the party. Sorry, one of the party members threw a grenade at the bad guy, and I went, blue chip, legendary, boom, shot the grenade out of the air. And then this one went, no!
So Valley's clueless. He got just short of a.
You got clueless. Okay. So you walk up to the material and you take a deep inhalation. Give me a Constitution roll at dead 4.
Well, yeah, no,
She
I
just
thought so.
sucked
Why
the
would
ether, didn't
why,
she?
why would Valley breathe that in?
You failed the roll to know that you shouldn't breathe it in.
But wouldn't Valley still have some caution about substance?
I'm sorry, did you fail the skill roll eventually? Yes, you did.
Hey, it just doesn't seem very in character.
Would you like to
for
spin a
that.
chip to automatically pass the Constitution roll? You can do that, you know.
Whatever.
I married the perfect woman for me.
I'm just saying, if you're gonna have him fail the roll, do so in a way that's actually logical for the character. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I would think it would have to be a critical fumble at that point if it's something within your...
Again, rare substance.
scope.
As I said, when I signed a negative, it's a rare substance.
It's
She wouldn't
ether,
recognize it.
Yeah, but you're a trained alchemist. You know...
What you got?
Partial.
A partial?
This is one of those time periods.
All right. You
Common
start
knowledge,
coughing
common
a little
knowledge.
bit.
Mm-hmm.
And because you start
So it's
coughing a
all
little bit, you
matter
have a
what that
partial,
is,
you
it's
back
very
away,
good
you're going to cough for a
past
few
years.
rounds rather than be affected by the
Just
drug.
in basic chemistry...
Hearing her coughing,
You shouldn't be sniffing certain things.
you had an apartment upstairs, if I recall correctly, right?
Yeah.
You hear her cough. You hear him coughing outside the hallway. You hear him coughing violently.
Oh, no, he's knocking on the door, Tuffy. That was just Matt banging his head on the wall. Hush.
Oh. Alrighty. Braylon slowly but surely crawls out of bed, very carefully opens the door, trying to be as quiet as humanly possible.
Here's that phrase I love.
And to the point where, you know, at this point in time, even a dog walking down the hallway is going to make her wince.
Tough.
Tuffy, not yours. Look down.
Sit. Lay down.
Yeah, Braylon doesn't get drunk in bars because
Good
that's
girl.
usually fatal. She gets drunk at home. And, okay, apparently the girl I came home with last night has already gone home. And, Alright, somebody was coughing out here. And
This is
causing-
the day after that.
Yeah. Oh, so I'm actually healed up by now.
Yes.
Okay, anyways, so. I thought this was the next day, my bad.
No, day after that.
Oh, okay. So, anyways, look out, and what is
While
she?
he's hacking.
What are you doing?
He's standing like around the vicinity of Aristocles' door and apparently coughing his head off. Because he breathed in the substance for some weird reason.
There's yellowish, gassy stuff coming up underneath the door, and you didn't even bother to put your hand over your mouth.
It smells very foul.
And yank her away from it. Yank him away from it. And, yeah, I am not letting this shit in the hallway.
It's staying very close to the ground.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Is it going through the floorboards into the first story?
You're not seeing that yet, but the mist is staying close to the ground.
Okay. Alright. Well, I, the player, know what this shit is. Freywin does not. And I'm going to... But...
Would you like to inform the party what you, the player, think this is?
Ether.
Mm-mm.
Sulfur.
Mm-mm.
Those are the
She'd
two.
recognize sulfur. Sulfur's a common ingredient.
Yeah, but ether is something that's very rare and is actually around in the classical age.
Could
So they
I
didn't know what to do with it.
Can I make another roll now that I've inhaled a bunch of it to figure out what it is?
And a few more rounds, right now you're still busy hacking. Go.
Okay.
But ether is yellowish when it's in its raw form. That's the reason I assumed it could possibly be that.
It just could be a unique concoction.
But it's also flammable, so you don't want to...
Well, someone needs to do something, because I'm going to go ahead and give something away because the party's asked. You realize you don't hear Aristocles coughing.
Oh, I know he's not coughing. I realize that he's probably out cold. Alright, fuck it. I'm going to do something really intelligent that apparently he hasn't bothered to think of. I'm going to open up the windows at either end of the hallway and then kick open the door.
Well,
Okay.
it's not like he knew there was gas coming out of the door until he got there.
I do need a Constitution save against the stuff because you will be exposed to it, but because you've opened the windows, do it at +2.
Okay. Can't see.
12.
Thank you.
Well, for con, that's probably a pass.
Yeah, my con, yeah, that's easily a pass. So it's +2, then yeah, that's a success.
You kick the door open. Inside, you see recumbent on the floor an elderly Nemedian wizard who's like, because he basically messed up whatever it was he was trying to do. On his laboratory, you see stuff boiling. Yellow gas is coming out and pouring through the room. He got so absent-minded, he forgot to open the shutters in his room.
Ah, Jesus.
Well, I would promptly go do that.
In about 3 or 4 minutes, the gas clears out. He wakes up coughing viciously.
Oh, and remove the pot from the fire so it stops pouring out more fumes.
And you can get a second roll now.
Hey.
Since you've now been exposed and have symptoms, you do it at +0.
Huh. Oh,
And no,
what
it's
makes my
not because
dice
I know
roll
dick
up?
about
Yeah,
alchemy. It's
no.
because, well, that's just basic cooking 101.
And what do you do with the guy on the floor?
Oh, I basically shake him around and slap him around and basically...
I didn't see that roll. Wait till I'm looking.
Because I'm not exactly sure how you get air into somebody's lungs, and I am not doing mouth-to-mouth with this old horny bastard.
Okay.
Well, that
That was
one
a quick
actually will
decision.
work this time.
Yeah, well, you weren't there when he first met
So you
my
don't have a
character.
medicine skill then?
Oh, I have a basic medicine skill, but I don't know how I don't think mouth-to-mouth was known at all
Okay.
until the 20th
First of all,
century.
yeah, but it's Hyboria, and Hyboria's got the whole hand wavium thing, so certain things we can assume.
Okay, I didn't know.
Basically, I'm going to say that if it's like 18th century or before, assume that it's known about. Because they apparently know about germ theory.
Or at least cause
Alright.
and effect of that nature.
No, I mean, I remember reading a story they actually think they know about germ theory. It kind of implies it. So,
Well, mouth-to-mouth was 20th century, so I'm going to go ahead and do the whole or thing with
Okay.
the arms, like
Go
they
and
did
give-
do in the 19th
go and
century.
give me an intuition. Sorry, not intuition. Intelligence roll to see if you're doing the proper thing.
Let me get my
Success.
damn glasses on.
You realize that basically he's got a primitive form of chlorine gas here.
And another 12.
No,
so I'm good.
jeez. Is there any way to counteract
There we
chlorine
go.
gas?
And-
Well, she's already got the ass starting to dissipate, but it's going to stink up this house forever.
Success.
You're going to have to get some alchemical agents in here to get rid of it, and Matthew's right. Since it does cloy to the ground, it will sink into the floorboards, eventually sink into the room below.
Oh, shit.
So yeah, we're going to need to spend some money to pay for his mistake. Probably about 3 or 4 gold pieces.
Ooh.
It's gonna be 3 or 4 gold pieces out of his pocket, honestly.
Well, you can have that negotiation later.
He's the one
Negotiation.
who effed up, so...
You can make that demand at sword point later.
I was thinking more fist, but that'll work. He's both intimidated and yet strangely attracted to me, so I use that on occasion.
You wouldn't hit an elderly man, would you?
The Nemedian begins to wake up.
Yeah.
What What were you doing? What were you even thinking?
I was trying an alteration in the Metatechalise's technique for turning lead into gold, and I got the yellowish color in the metal. Where's the metal? Where's the metal?
You've got a poisonous gas, is what you got. You're lucky it didn't kill anybody.
My apologies. It risks we take for the royal art.
How about you just lay off the lead into gold thing for a while?
Yeah, and you're also paying for the cleanup.
Because this place is going to stink for
I-
a
Which
while.
ironically is going to cost you gold.
There's no way we can barter that. Roll your intuition.
Oh,
An
I'm not even
interrogation.
going to try. No, I'm just going to tell him point blank. No.
No, that's not why I'm asking for intuition and interrogation.
Oh, okay. Alright.
Remember, intuition and interrogation is looking for motive.
Oh,
Is that
alrighty.
the
Because he's
interrogation?
broke.
That's
Interrogation is a
speech, right?
subset of speech.
Yeah, I don't even have to know that. He's broke.
I got a partial.
Okay, you have a partial?
Interrogation?
Keep rolling low again.
Would you
I
get
don't know what's with
legendary?
my dice and always rolling low all the time.
Intuition. No, I didn't get that, but I got pretty good. I got heroic.
That's more than pretty good. Oh, you're not there. I'm
I'm
sorry.
out. I'm out with the girl.
Okay, you suspect that the reason why he's asking about the gold is that he's cheap. Or he doesn't have much gold available. Heroic?
Yeah.
Quick look around, you realize that you don't see as many substances in here as you once did. Nor does he seem to have a lot of stuff. You remember him bringing more stuff in. He doesn't have any money.
Like I said, he's broke. I don't even know why I'm rolling. I guess that right off the bat.
Have to go through the process.
He's gonna have
You're broke. You're broke, aren't you?
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like you're gonna have to.
He's-
fight
Well,
some
guess
more,
what?
huh?
He gets a bit of pomp and nobility. It is a sacrifice I make in my pursuit of the arts and my wisdom.
You know what you're also going to be sacrificing? All that free labor you're going to be doing for us for the next, as long as it takes to pay off all the gold it's going to cost to clean this place up.
Very well, that seems fair. I am sorry to be such a bother.
No more trying to turn lead into gold.
Or if you're gonna do it elsewhere.
On somebody else's dime.
Okay, so you've suitably chastised the alchemist.
Wow.
What do you all do now?
Oh well, do the best we can to get the smell out of the place. Light up a
Yep.
shit ton of incense.
Perdage comes out of his room. His new wife is behind him. She looks very happy. He whispers something in her ear. She goes to the kitchens to help the women we hired to maintain the house prepare. The Zamorans, who were the former worshippers of Bel that you had brought into your fold, come back with their take for the night, collecting the taxes. The party will have about 10 silver at their disposal for the day. I do not actually. You have to grab one.
Okay, well I guess I need to do a patrol of the neighborhood to make sure that we're actually earning our keep.
Well, Perdage actually wants to talk to you about that. He motions to the party as his wife goes to the kitchen and says, "My friends, my understanding is that we wish to somehow get into the banquet with the Rutas. Is that correct?" Well, no one has actually approached the Rutas yet. We should probably clean up at the bathhouse, put on our best, and make our best impression. He looks at Kale.
I'm not there.
I'm going to assume the party is at some point all gathered.
Okay.
So we can move this along.
Make our best impression and try to convince him to hire I and my brothers as performers. I think if the lovely Iskanara will accompany us and with her gracious wiles charm the man. Oh, Perdage, you're such a flatterer. Yes, surely I am. Is it working? Not in the slightest, you're married. And Perdage says without a beat, I can have more than one wife. It's allowed.
Ahem. Back on task, please.
Perdage looks at Vali, looks at Iskanara. Oh, I see.
Yes.
And then he stops and he goes, trying to figure out exactly what the relationship there is between all four of you. And he's like, okay, yeah, never mind.
Don't overthink it.
It's a heathen thing.
That's Mal says. Yeah, she's a whore.
So, Perdage says, so we will do that. I've been giving some thought, and the last time we had an event like this, we tried to pass you off as security.
Yeah.
Perhaps we should take that same approach this time, but we should do it quick because the banquet is not tonight, it's tomorrow. and he needs to make his
Agreed.
preparation today. It only gives us 1 day to case the place.
Agreed. Who do
Okay.
you think should do the talking
So
for
that's
us?
our entry. Now, please, what exactly is our goal here? From what I understand it, we're trying to get these people into our net for financing. We're not actually trying to rob from them.
No, we're trying to get a sponsor for Escanaro's new dance studio.
Okay.
Which means we're robbing them, but legally.
Okay.
They're going to give us the money.
Well, I suppose we can go try to make the contact and impress them. I'll tell all my men to be on their best behavior. Barchu, tell Zosha he has to take a bath. Oh.
It's really funny. I'm the only character because she's a Viking type that actually bathes regularly.
Well, the Terranians bathe readily, but Zosha, if you remember correctly, is a little slow.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's right. That's true. He is a little.
He got kicked in the head when he was young. So.
Yeah, that's right. I keep forgetting that. That's the reason he has the scar. Okay.
All right. So
At least I didn't do that, or he didn't.
I will go make those preparations. I'm sure that I and my brothers can do well. Might I recommend we leave the other Zamorans here, as they probably have criminal records?
I agree with that. Plus, we need somebody to watch the house.
So that means it's going to be the 4 PCs,
Mm-hmm.
and then Taraj and his guys. It's 9 people together going all together.
Mm-hmm. And that's going to.
Okay. I include her as one of the PCs.
Yeah, okay.
She's a PC mass, but she's a PC. All right. I would make a fate check for me.
I already do. So hopefully I roll better this time. You roll first. Pretty good. And not as good, but close enough.
Heroic.
Brooke?
Success.
Great success. Sweetheart, I need you to make a fate check for me.
Oh, Jesus Christ, really?
Oh, that's one.
So optimistic today.
You know how my dice tend to roll. And
Dark
it's one of my
spirits
lowest
have you today.
stats.
Hmm?
Yeah, I know.
That's the one I get to roll a d6.
Okay.
I know it's not a fumble, but it ain't
Alrighty.
a success.
So we're trying to solicit a patron for.
You
his
step
school.
outside your door, and suddenly, whipping out of their robes, or they look like they were beggars on the street, come a bunch of city watch. They level crossbows at the group, and one of them goes, "What's your character's last name?"
Never established one.
"Volley the charlatan. In the name of the king, you are under arrest."
What?
What did you do now?
Nothing, as far as I know. May I ask what charges?
"The assault of a noble.
Huh?
Huh?
You assaulted a noble and the wretched whore. You broke his jaw. Jailbird."
Yeah, but I'm keeping my mouth totally shut.
His character has a disadvantage called Jailbird. Every session I have to roll to see if he's in jail. If I roll it very well, not only is he not in jail, but someone else gets blamed for something she did.
Oh, great. Thank you
He's
so
playing a girl, by the way. That's why.
fucking much. Okay, so Valley's gonna have to convince them that he didn't do it, huh?
Yep.
No, for the guy
All right.
I punched.
So, there are 2 types of tests in this game. You have standard tests, which is where you hear me asking them for what degree of success they have. Then you have opposed. And opposed, the NPC
The
has to
normal is
get
too
1 degree of
embarrassed
success,
to
1 dot's higher
admit
than
he
the
got
player.
clocked by
So
a
if she gets
girl.
success,
So he goes
and
for the
NPC
puny little Zamoran who like doesn't have any muscles to
sometimes it's
speak
hard to hear with
of.
all the noise.
Sorry.
So if she gets success and the NPC gets success, she still wins because she's the hero.
Does this count as being deceptive?
It does.
Okay.
You get to roll a die 6 with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Good
You
luck.
need to have a heroic or better.
I want to spend a chip on that one.
You have a red?
I don't have a red now. I just have 2 like.
Okay, that worked out better than I planned.
You did that just so I would spend that chip.
I did not. Okay. So what does Volley say to the City Watch?
Let's see, how would he do it? Well, no, he's not gonna say fuck y'all.
I know
mean,
she's
it would be
not.
hilarious, but no. I mean,
Hold your arms out. Do I look like somebody who could knock a
I
full
know.
man's jaw
Well, he'd be
broken?
like, no,
You're a skinny little runt.
I don't mind you making suggestions, but let a role player character.
Well, he's like, gentlemen, do I look like I'd be able to knock somebody unconscious with 1 blow?
The guards all look at one another. The captain's like,
Last time I hit somebody, I pretty much broke my own hand.
the guard comes near, gets nose to nose with you where no one else can hear and says, "Okay, look, you puny munchkin thief.
Damn.
I understand that the noble's full of shite and probably doesn't remember exactly who hit him. He just happens to blame you because you're, well, known. But I gotta take somebody in, or I gotta take a significant amount of persuasion in. You're playing the Great Zamorn game again. Do you have a barter?
Give him kale.
No. No, I'm not gonna give him kill. Well, I know
Come at me.
the guys that we met at the thing that I tailed after unsuccessfully.
Oh! Okay, I'm glad you remembered that. Double Volley's intelligence and add his streetwise to see if you can remember their names.
I say give him kale. He causes so much trouble.
No, she's gonna throw an NPC under the bus.
Oh. Smart. Very smart.
15. And double my intelligence, which would put me at 10.
15, 10.
That's dramatic.
Okay, so truthfully, I don't remember their names either because they were a hook for a future adventure I was going to write. But Volley simply relates their names.
Yeah.
These are the guys who did it. Okay.
I mean, I could get some thrown in jail for
The guard
a little
goes, yeah, I know them. And they were there that night from reports I've heard. And they've been very evasive lately, not spending a lot of money, looking for a fence apparently. Noble says he's missing some valuable items. Apparently someone picked his coin purse.
Lucky me.
which included a family ring.
Yep.
All right.
That's why we have a lot more.
All right, I'm going to let you off with a warning. A stern warning.
Consider me
Come on, man.
thoroughly warned.
And the guys in the cloaks are like, we don't get to shoot anybody? Blimey. And they start walking away. All right, so now that all the bookkeeping is done, you proceed through the city mall streets. As you're walking through the mall, a couple of rolls are required. The first is streetwise and intuition to sense where the thieves are. And everywhere, although it's technically true, is not a viable response.
We're in the city of thieves. They're everywhere.
About a third of Orange in the city they're in is involved in some kind of illegal activity.
Which is like blows my mind away because it's like, who the hell
What is this, like a pirate city?
So Howard Zamora sits in the exact middle of his map. Everybody's trade goes through it. Because everybody's trade goes through it, so does everybody's crime.
Okay.
Oranjun sits right next to a very valuable pass that goes to the east to Turin, where a lot of things like our modern real-world Silk Road would end.
Legendary.
Legendary?
Yep.
Legendary.
Legendary?
For once.
Damn.
I know.
Dramatic.
Okay. With your legendary dramatic, you manage to spot anybody who might be a thief before they get too close, and they all kind of go, yeah, not today. You have the other things you normally see in this kind of street, people hawking wares, buy my fine, valuable gold for $19.95, etc. And people offer you deals of a lifetime. You ignore all the hawkers and all the pretenders. When you clear the mall, you come to the northern section, leading into Oranjun proper, going out towards the gate where Robbie works. Now, the manor house you're going to is actually just inside the city walls. All right, the Root has actually bought a property inside the city. It is on the northeast corner of the town, and it doesn't sit on a rise, but around it there are several trees and like arboretums, I think would probably be the best word, where you have like small areas where people try to like make a sort of a manufactured wilderness.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hidden from view. It's very picturesque. If you picture something, like a little French chateau with a little bit more greenery, you've probably got the idea of what we're looking at. And you haven't really told me yet if you want to gather any information before you show up on the man's doorstep. What does the party want to do at this point?
I don't know. Probably gathering some information.
I thought we were still going to go to the bathhouse and then do all that.
Nothing's going to happen there, so I'm just going to accelerate time. You go to the bathhouse, you get all clean, you're all in your finest robes, yada, yada, yada.
And that's why I was going to be looking for information at the bathhouse because that's where everybody meets from all over the various neighborhoods.
So that sounds like a passive gather information role, which you could also do while you're walking the street. All right, go ahead and give me, do you have the news skill?
Yep, I was going to use Streetwise for that.
No, it wouldn't be streetwise, because you're not talking about anything illegal. You're picking up rumors. You're not looking for illicit activity or illegal people. Go ahead and roll me a straight So you're listening, you're using your senses. Roll me a straight perception, Matt.
Okay.
What is everybody else doing to gather info on the target?
Same thing.
Same thing? Perception and news.
Noob.
6. Okay.
Can I try chatting with some of the locals? Just kind of general chat that might glean some information that way.
Okay.
That would still be the news skill, but that'd be charisma and news.
Heroic.
Heroic?
Okay. I rolled a completely useless 19 plus 6. A roll I only needed a successor or dramatic for. So I have a legendary.
Heroic, legendary,
Yeah, this is one of those rolls where it's overkill for really what you need.
partial.
And I hate wasting a roll.
The only
like
thing
that.
you hear on your partial is that the Rutas, being Novu Riche, are looking for wives for their sons. They're trying to get wedded into society proper. Dramatic?
Legendary.
Oh, you had a legendary. Who's the dramatic? Was that Kale?
I had a heroic.
Heroic. Okay.
Yeah, this was overkill roll.
You hear that the Rutas have done some business with Ragged Jacob. Not surprising. You know, he gets
Probably just
around.
about everybody's done business with Ragged.
You're not sure exactly what. You also hear that it's well known that the Rutas will be hosting the Vingian spice merchant, although the people you're talking to don't know Jadul Rajam's name. They'll be hosting the Vingian spice merchant at the party. There's talk about him bringing dancing girls of his own from his homeland, as well as some exotic musical instruments for the nobles to be amazed by.
The name of the patrons that we're seeking out? What are they?
Ruta, R-U-T-A.
Ruta, that's right.
Well, at least we'll have one ally.
But someone from the Merchants Parley we met, Jadul Rajam, is apparently going to be in attendance. You have a legendary?
Yeah.
There is a rumor, because people have seen silent ones going back and forth from the Ruta's residence, that Durle Mok may be in attendance as well.
Oh. The wizard?
Oh boy, oh boy.
Durle Mok is
Oh,
the
Durle
spider
priest.
priest.
The spider
Spider
priest,
priest,
yeah.
Zamora's native religion, Scott, usually appears in the shape of a spider.
Okay.
It's where Gary Gygax kind of got the idea for the drill.
Okay.
They worship a spider, they occasionally human sacrifice to it, and every single one of them is a Ferengi backbiting, avaricial double-dealing, has read the prince backward and forwards. Fuck.
And Ragged Jacob owns the Black
The
Lotus.
Black Lotus.
Correct.
Yeah.
Fuck are my fucking notes? There we go.
So you have 3 different people you know who are in attendance. You might want to go to one of them to get an invite or more info if you want to go as a guest.
The Black Petal.
Well, not Durle Moak, because we're not supposed to advertise any relationship with him. But we could possibly do Jadul Rajam, because we're already in his favor. Ragged Jacob might want something in return, though, so that's one of those things that we'd have to make sure we had something we'd be willing to trade for that. Jewel, on the other hand, might be a little easier. At least that's my opinion.
Yep.
So you want to take a diversion and go to Jadul Rajam's manor?
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, why not?
That sounds like a good enough plan.
You go through the streets, you get to Jadul Rajam's manor. It's on the eastern side of town, and when you arrive, he has just finished having his gates done, so there's a pair of marble snarling tigers there. A pair of the guards with the turbans are outside. They see you all coming, and they nod because they recognize you.
Mm-hmm.
One of them comes forward and goes, "Hello, did you have an appointment with my master today?"
No, we were actually looking to, this unfortunately was a bit of spur of the moment. We were wondering if he would have time to see us today.
Well, my master seems to be a little bit busy. We, roll your intuition interrogation on the guard.
How do you spell this family's name or to do business?
Ruta, R-U-T-A.
R-U-T-A.
And it's back to roll again.
Not me. Intuition, you said?
That's still a success.
I rolled a dramatic.
You can tell he wants to tell you something, but he isn't, which implies that he's got orders not to talk about something.
Okay. Perhaps if there's something we could assist Jadul Rajam with?
I don't think my master needs any assistance at this time, but perhaps you should speak with Master Garupar.
Uh-huh.
Sure, we can speak with him if he's available.
just inside the gates. He may not be himself. Please be forgiving.
Okay.
Now, does anybody have a culture skill yet?
Culture? No.
Didn't think so. Okay, you've had some interaction with the Vengeance, so go ahead and roll an intelligence at neg 4. See if you can piece together what's happened here.
I doubt it, but we'll see.
I rolled a 1. That's no point.
That's a fumble.
Yeah.
It is a fumble. The way the game system works, the players fumble, I as the stage get to draw a chip. Whenever they roll an epic success, they get to draw a chip.
It's not a fumble, but it's not a success. It's not even a partial, so.
It's a failure?
He's coolest. Yeah.
Okay.
I have a success.
You get that Garapar has somehow displeased Jadul Rajam and is probably about to be punished. And that the guards do not agree.
So, best to stay out of this.
Okay. So you walk inside his palace. The beautiful river, sort of like small creek he has that runs up the middle next to the road. The peacocks, they're loud. It's annoying as fuck if anyone's actually lived with them. are all there. He's got servants walking around. A woman in a sari walks up to you and goes, "Hello, I'm sorry I wasn't aware we were having guests today. How can I help you? How can I direct you?"
Volley.
You need your social skills.
You need your diplomacy.
1 second.
You don't want me talking.
Okay, say what?
Yeah, we need more than 3 grunts in a row.
So you're now inside Jadul Rajam's room. A woman in a sari comes up and goes, "Hi, I was aware we were having visitors today. How can I direct you?"
We're looking for Garupar, actually.
Oh, yes, he's probably in the armory. Let me lead you there. Please turn that off.
That's a peacock.
Yes, I know. I am well acquainted with
Oh,
the
yeah.
sound those big frigging dinners with attitude make.
It
Okay?
tastes good.
I figured to add to the ambiance.
Yeah, nice try. The woman walks you over to the armory, and when you arrive, you hear from inside the armory someone openly sobbing and weeping, and then you realize
Ew.
it's Garupar.
Oh,
He's
well,
openly weeping.
fucking shit. That probably isn't good.
Outside the armory, there's another guard. This one's Indrajit, who you recognize from before. Indrajit sees you approach, looks at the woman and says something in Vinjin to her, which none of you speak, of course. She responds something back. He replies. They go back and forth for a little bit. And then finally he says to the party, "I'm terribly sorry, but I had to confirm that you are indeed allowed to see Master Garapar, and apparently as of yet there is no restriction upon it. I would advise you, whatever you have to say to him, say it very quickly. He may not be available later."
That sounds ominous.
Uh-oh. He's on borrowed time.
Right?
Okay, this is gonna be fun. Could you perhaps let him know that we're here so he could have a moment to collect himself?
He looks at the girl looks at him. They both seem reluctant to walk into the door. And finally says, knocks on the door with his hand and yells out something in Vinjin. And from inside the door you hear Vinjin response. Give him a minute. And the distaste they have for Garapar, these two people, is made very evident to the party by this interaction. Eventually you hear the sobbing on the other side of the door stop. The door opens and Garapar lets you in, and you can tell instantly, without even having to make an intuition roll on this guy, he's been crying most of the night.
Ew.
So wait a minute. The guards we have at the gate do not approve of punishment going on, but this guard apparently does.
Indrajit does. Indrajit's also Jadul's right-hand man.
So we have a split.
Hey,
In
You
the,
do.
Yeah.
that's not.
File that away for future reference in case we need it.
I'm writing it down.
Garapar is in the armory. He looks like he has been crying most of the night.
Happy. Goes down.
Sit. Sit. Hey, sit. Yes. Lay down. Good girl.
Why can't you do that all the time?
Did you need a table?
It would have worked. I wasn't sure if you had anything available.
Yeah. Here, take mine.
Thank you. I know there was one under the table there.
Yeah, I got some game stuff on it. Would you put that away from me and box up for dinner tonight for me at work?
You work
So-
tonight?
Yeah, I work every Sunday night. We actually squeeze this in before I have to go in. So you look and you see that Garpart's probably also been training most of the night because he's covered in sweat as well as tears. He approaches the party. He's like, "How can I help you?"
Well, we were going to ask you to get us a appointment with your master, but apparently there has been a falling out.
Yes, I am the wrong person to ask right now about any favor from that bastard Jadul Rajam.
Okay.
May he burn in Aralu. Aralu, by the way, is the Shemitish version of hell, so he's actually using a different culture's religion.
Okay. Not that Freeman would know dick about that. Okay. I'm kind of. Well, let's see here. We were needing to ask your master if he could get us into a party at the Rutas.
Oh, I'm sure he can do that.
And we were going to ask you, since he's fairly busy right now, to introduce us to him and help us.
That indolent fop is not busy. That sycophantic sore on humanity is not busy. He does not work. He does not toil.
I assumed he administrated his business.
With plenty of aid. It'll all fall apart when I'm gone. I guarantee you that.
Okay.
By gone, you mean gone from here geographically?
You actually know more than.
They intend to murder me.
Wait a minute. You know a word with more than one syllable.
So I suspected. I
May I ask what exactly happened?
He's playing on mode.
know. Yeah, I can't participate too much in this shit because my character is more of just the muscle.
Have you ever been in love, Zamorin?
No.
A love that... He's not shocked! Zamorin, of course. Why'd I bother to ask?
Well, yeah, I've been heavily attracted and even stupidly.
A love that would inspire
yeah, but it's not
you...
going anywhere with us.
A love that would inspire you to defy your entire upbringing. In my homeland, there's a thing called a Varna, into which each of us are born. We have no choice in the matter. And upon you are placed duties and restrictions and expectations that no one can meet. And when you fail to meet them, you are punished. And with this chain, this mental lattice work, they have imprisoned a whole land. And if you find someone that, like you, is willing to break free, it's a treasure.
So there's a wench at the center of your melancholy.
A dying one, yes.
Oh, excuse me?
Dying of what?
My wife has contracted a disease which could be easily cured, but because she's below me in Varna, Jadul Rajam refuses me the services of Patimbar, who is the only man in this land that could probably heal her, his personal physician.
I know somebody
Daddy!
that possibly.
I have served his
No, don't say it.
I have served his family loyally
Oh,
for the
God.
past 12
Took a
years.
drink out of this, so I'm gonna.
Oh.
I'll wait till everyone's back. So continuing the
I
very
didn't see
important
that one coming.
So continuing the very important and plot-driven rant here.
Yeah, this is good stuff.
So, my wife is below me in Varna, and so it was forbidden for me to marry her. We had to do it in secret. And since we were in a foreign land, we thought we could make it work. But there have been complications with her and her condition, and it's going to kill her.
And she's not entitled to your health care.
Jadul Radam will not heal her, and he has forbidden me to leave since I have broken the case codes. She was discovered when she began to be ill around the other women.
Has she been forbidden to leave?
She is bedridden. She cannot leave.
But has she been forbidden?
Woman, are you dense? She cannot leave.
I can carry her.
She is a slave. If you carry her out of here, you'll be committing theft against Jadul Rajam, and you've seen how he handles problems.
That's what my companion was asking you. Can she leave?
No.
What if I bought her?
He won't sell her.
Kidnapping
I tried.
is an option.
Kidnapping's an option. You tried. I, on the other hand, am in favor.
You're welcome to attempt it, but I don't think you'll have any luck. He's adamant about it because it's a religious issue.
Ah. Well, she's a slave. She's below.
Hey!
And I'm a foreigner wishing to buy her. Because I'm willing to pay the expense of getting her healed.
You don't understand. She broke Varna with me. We have to be punished. He will not sell her. The situation is hopeless, and I only hope that
What's the punishment?
they're going to let her painfully die, and they're probably going to murder me. I only hope it'll be in the form of a duel. I could take at least one of them to hell with me.
What would be her punishment if she wasn't already dying?
They would probably murder her and burn her body.
How would they murder her?
Typically, they do it by beheading.
What if I was willing to fight a duel in her place?
Again, you seem to think that Jajur Wajam has some interest in seeing you or anyone like you as an equal. He does not. He is firmly part of the ruling Brahmins.
All right.
I don't know how he has managed to disguise his elitism amongst these people who seem to think he's so open-minded. He is just as... he goes, he picks up a weapon and starts whipping it around to vent the
My
stress.
character's asking your character.
Well, he's a serious, unadulterated, two-legged badass. And
This is the guy that was throwing the chakram at us in that first encounter.
He's an unadulterated.
You remember the fan
badass.
fiction? This is the guy that almost took out Conan in that group.
Oh.
Yeah.
Garupar. I thought you
We
got
could
the
get
name
him-
when you read the
if we
fiction.
could get him out
Oh,
of
he was that
this
guy? For some reason, I thought he
situation,
was a different guy.
and
No.
as an ally for us in our service, we have basically what amounts to a two-legged, unstoppable killing machine.
Who's basically helpless right now.
Who's helpless right now because he is as bound by this, for all of his ranting, bound by this religious nonsense as his master. Frankly, if I was him, I'd just go up and walk away. Anybody try to stop me? Bust some heads. But, you know,
Happy,
Well,
would you please?
you know, as a...
which I'm trying to give him hints that
I'm
I'm
going to
going
have
to
Iskanar spend it. I'm going to have Iskanar spend a chip.
because that's basically what
Iskanar
I'm
comes to
proposing.
the party and goes, "One moment, sir," and brings you all aside and goes, "Clearly the man is in great pain. Clearly the man's going to hear they mean to murder him. He does not need to be here. It sounds to me like he hasn't done anything wrong or anything you all wouldn't have done to save me from that gladiatorial pit.
Well, yeah.
Let's break him out."
That's what I've been kind of leading him towards, but I need him to kind of like make that decision. Otherwise, we're going to have to basically knock him out cold and carry him out.
Iskanar, you don't think
He has
this
to
guy's
make the
sense of
decision
honor
himself.
would override our...
He's already proven he'll break his honor for love. All we have to do is manipulate him with his love for the woman.
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm giving him an option.
All right, let
We have
Molly
a
do it.
doctor. We have a doctor who can heal her.
Well, or
But we
blow her
have to
up.
get her out of
I
here.
wish that were so, but clearly he doesn't respect Zamora and Savali, and I cannot help you in this. It has to be one of the two of you, a fellow warrior.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
So, do you guys remember, because I keep bringing this up in every game session, that there's a pair of things in the game that you can use to help modify chances. One's called the description bonus, where you describe an action in such a manner that I feel it's appropriate and more likely to succeed, so I add a bonus or two.
That's what I've been trying
The
to do.
second
but
one is
apparently
the-
I'm being too subtle.
The second one is, you need to tell me, I want to add a description bonus and then
Good
describe it
job.
out.
Yeah.
The second one is you can actually team up, and if you two of you hit him, the higher one of the higher score gets an extra +1 from the other one helping him out. So if the two of you are to talk to him, which one of you has the higher speech score?
Actually, that's a good question.
I think it might be Freywin, but I'm not sure.
My speech is... I'm going to get a bonus with that.
So you're rolling straight charisma.
Yep.
I got a plus.
Which is 1.
I got a +3.
You have a +3 speech?
Yeah, that's because I already have a bonus for it too.
Okay. Okay, no, I'm sorry. So your speech skill is a what?
Is a +2. Is a +2.
A 2, and your
+1
charisma is a...
bonus. I have a +1 bonus.
So that's 3, and your charisma is a...
Oh, charisma is a 3.
So that means 6 with him adding you roll in column 7.
Mm-hmm.
So I want the two of you team up and basically role play with me being Garopar. How are you going to try to convince me to do this?
Well, like I said,
So good.
I've been trying to convince him here, and
Subtlety's
that
not working.
the subtlety's not working.
Well, to
I'm
be
gonna-
fair, the approach you've been using is trying to convince him to somehow find a way to go about it in the rules. What Iskanar is suggesting is just go ahead and have him break completely with rules.
Well, I was trying to get him to convince to let me take his wife out of here one way or the other, and I was willing to my next offer was, okay, fine, I'll just take her. You know. But
So you're going to actually propose that you're going to kidnap her.
I'm willing to take
Okay.
his wife
So
out of here.
I have what you're trying to do. I've got your description bonus. Now actually role play it out, and I'll see if you get a bonus or not.
Good part. We have a doctor who can, likely as not, cure your wife. If you're willing to give the consent, because I'm not going to take another man's wife without his consent, to take her out of here, one way or the other. If I can't do it legally, then fine, I'll take her out. I don't like this sort of thing. It pisses me off. This is why I left home. And if you haven't got the balls to get your wife out of here, I do. If you're willing to come with us, fine. Love to have you as a friend.
What would I owe you? No one in this town does anything for free.
Do I look like a Zamoran?
That's really good. That's actually really good.
And it's red.
Do I look like a
He looks at the Vaniyar and her flaming red hair, the scars on her body which prove that she is a warrior. He looks at Kale, who seems to be on board with this too. The scars on his Sumerian body looks like a warrior. And Karapar, viewing you both essentially being worthy men, no offense, kind of sits there and says, what you're suggesting I would do is turn me into a criminal.
This is Zamora.
Which doctor would you take her to?
Well, there's a certain Stygian we know.
Sebek Amen.
Don't hold it against him. He's actually a decent human being.
I know Sebek Amen.
Yeah.
I've seen how he treats his slave.
Yeah. Who I actually think he's sleeping with too and wants to marry.
He doesn't call her a slave. She's the one who's still acting in submission to him.
Mm-hmm.
He would keep our secret.
Yeah.
It might put him at odds with Jadul, though. But you're sure that he would go with it?
I don't think he gives a rat's ass.
Iskanar,
He's a healer at heart, so
Thank
I've
you.
never seen him turn anyone
take
down.
a white chip out of the hat.
If you want to. I got a bag open down here.
And then Iskanar adds to it, and from my interactions with him, he's never spoken down to anyone who came from lower birth.
Yeah, I said he doesn't give a rat's ass
And
about such
then she
things.
finishes it by saying to Garapar, then she finishes that statement by saying to Garapar, the two of you have much in common. You both love people you weren't supposed to. He'll keep your secret.
And,
Garapar thinks about it for a second and then says, all right, how do we get me out of here?
Well, that's going to be complicated. We're going to have to improvise.
Iskanar is like, clearly the guards at the gate don't agree. If someone were to go out and distract them and someone else distract Indrajit, it's a short run out that front gate.
Yep. But the trick is to get into his wife first because we can't leave without her.
Where's your wife being held? Sati is inside the palace in the west wing.
Alrighty. Time to go be sneaky.